I was basically introduced to this, what do you call it? A theory, mimetic desire. So he brings it up. He said, you know, if I was interested in a girl, Cameron would be interested in a girl. And it was like basically a competition of who has higher status. You know, Ethan's extremely intelligent. So maybe Cameron's sleeping with his choice of women to make him appear more intellectual. We don't know the route, but I decided to look into this because I thought it was extremely interesting. Obviously, mimetic desire can appear in different forms, but have you heard of it?
I've not really heard of it, to be honest, so I'm interested.
Okay. Honestly, me neither, though. And I knew that there had to be more to it than just, you know, Ethan likes Sally and Cameron now likes Sally. And there is. So it was basically a concept developed by 20th century French anthropologist René Girard, who believed that human desire is not individual but collective or social. So he believed that after basic needs are satisfied, people move into the realm of desire in which there isn't a biological radar or instincts to guide them. Instead, their radar becomes other people. People want what other people want. And he believes that, you know, desire is social. And I thought this was really interesting because I'm going to ask you this. Did you watch Tiger King?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that back in the pandemic, if social media wasn't a thing, you saw Tiger King on Netflix, just aimlessly scrolling, do you think you would have clicked on it and gave it a shot had you not seen it on social media a million times?
Definitely. It's totally my thing.
You're a liar.
I'm kidding.
You're a liar.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
You correct me if I'm wrong. I could use another example. I got them all. But
no, I wouldn't have.
Exactly. So basically, you're on social media. You see everyone talking about X, Y, and Z. And so that makes you want X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But do you actually want X, Y, and Z? Or do you just want it because other people want it?
No, I think that's so true. It's actually so funny because I was talking to someone at work about this today. I was like, it's almost like people are like kids in a sandbox where like no one wants a toy until someone else wants it and then they want it too. But that's interesting. It's almost like we fend for ourselves to get our needs met, but then once our needs met, like everything else that we want is basically socially constructed. And it's funny because I feel like our society has such like an interest in like individuality. Like everyone's like, I'm an individual and like do what you feel and stuff, but it's actually not how we're programmed, I guess is what this is saying.
Yeah. So another, you know, idea of mimetic desire is that their desires are generated and shaped by those around us, such as models, through a process of imitation that typically flies beneath conscious awareness. So most of the time we're not even aware what's going on. Like, for instance, the Aritzia Molina pants. You're on TikTok scrolling. You see every Aritzia haul, girls are just buying them left and right. You end up buying them and it's like, well, they're not even that cute. They're vegan leather. And they're overpriced.
They're plastic.
They're freaking plastic. Why
has it ever happened to you too, where like the first time you see some girl post something with like a jacket and you think it's kind of an ugly jacket, and then you see another TikTok about the jacket, and then by like the 10th one you see, you're like, wait, actually it's kind of cute. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're buying it. But the first time you saw it, your initial gut reaction was that you thought it was kind of ugly. Right. But now because so many like, you know, cute, pretty girls are wearing it, all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, maybe I like it now. I feel like that's happened to me before, where like my like actual thoughts about something have changed
because of these models.
Right.
And you're not even aware that your beliefs or ideas or whatever is changing. Like by the time it's done, it's too late. You're watching Tiger King in your Aritzia Molina pants. Like,
yeah, no, that's literally so true. And I also feel like it goes back to like like what you said about people want what other people want. Like, I think if you saw a guy and you thought he was kind of cute, but all your friends were like, ugh, like he's so disgusting, you'd probably be like, oh, like, okay. Like, yeah. Maybe you'd go for him anyways. But I feel like if all your friends were like, oh my God, that guy is so cute. Oh my gosh, I think he's into you. Like you'd feel so like good about that, because I think people have this innate desire to want to feel like they're a part of something. They want to be included and they want to like have what other people want. And I think, like you said, like if you see someone that you look up to, like if I see a girl on Instagram and she's beautiful and she's using this face cream, like this, even though I realistically know that she, like, I always hate when girls with really naturally pretty hair use all these hair products, and like you realistically know that like that's just how she looks. Jeans. But like there's this weird part of you that's like, maybe if I use what she's using, like I will be her, even though you know you won't be. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I think influencers are the biggest reason for, I think mimetic desire and social media go hand in hand. I think social media in general has brought us all extremely close to one another. Like we can talk to our models, we can engage with them, but most importantly, like we can compete with them now. Like you can see a million different Aritzia hauls on TikTok, and now it's like, well, they're giving you the guide on how to like gain whatever followers, attraction, whatever it is. You just have to compete with them and literally mimic them.
Right. No, that's literally so true. I think it's like insane how like deep it goes and like how much like it affects you and everything like that and like your day-to-day life. And the funniest thing I think about it is lately, I don't know if you've noticed this, but maybe my TikTok is just like all jammed out and messed up, but I see so much about like hyper individualism. Like I see so many people that are like, your happiness does not depend on anyone except for your own. The only thing that matters is you. The only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself. You can only fix yourself. Like so much, like you don't need anyone. You only need yourself. The only person you need is the person staring back at you in the mirror. And like people believe this and they like preach it and they praise it and they're like, yes, like totally like needed this today. And I'm not like coming for or making fun of those people, because I do think that a lot of us like to believe that we're individual and unique and special. Like we all like to feel like that. But when it actually comes down to it, we're extremely like socially constructed, and we like to be part of groups, and we like to feel like we belong. We like to feel like we are part of something. And all those people that are constantly talking about how they want to be individual are doing that together. Like they're all like watching the same TikTok of this girl talking about being individual, and they're all saying, yeah, like that's me together, which isn't individual at all. It's just like interesting how like we like crave to feel like so different and special, but we're all actually very, very similar.
No, we are. And I think mimetic desire is, once you're aware of it, it's easier to not fall into that trap, I feel like, later in life. But like, for instance, when you're, in elementary school or middle school, they ask you, oh, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you say doctor because that's what you've learned in class. And you know very little about what jobs are actually out there in the world. You don't know how many possibilities there are. But, you've been taught that, like, yeah, become a doctor and you'll make a lot of money and you'll be really respected. And so you're like, yeah, I want to be a doctor. But, if I perceive a career as good, it's, especially at that age, it's because someone has modeled it in that way that appears it to be good. But they don't tell you like, oh no, like you're a doctor, you're gonna never see your family, you're gonna work long hours, yeah, you're gonna make a lot of money, but like there's gonna be a lot of fucked up shit that happened that you don't know about, but it appears good because no one ever actually tells you all the bad stuff.
Yeah. And what's also weird? It's like you see groups of people like friends and they're very similar, and you wonder like, are they similar or did they become similar? Like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like now that you're talking about that, I'm like, okay, so the group of friends I have, not that we're all very different people, but like the way we interact with each other is like similar. We might have similar types of jobs and like similar interests, and our, makeup routine might be similar. Our taste in men might be kind of similar, but then it's like, oh, like if we didn't hang out with each other all the time, would all these things be similar? Or did this gradually happen because the more that you spend time with someone and you see things they like, you're like, oh, I like that too. And then you gradually become more and more the same. And that's also why when you're separated from someone for so long, all of a sudden you see each other and you're like, wow, I haven't seen my friend in 3 years. We're so different. It feels like I'm looking at a stranger. Like how many times does it happen where you see your hometown friend that you grew up with, that you felt like you were so close with, and you went away for college, and now, you go back to the bar for Thanksgiving and you see her and it's like you have nothing in common. Is it because you guys changed so much, or like, is it because you guys were just becoming more like each other when you were hanging out? And then when you stop doing that, you gradually, become like other people that you're hanging out with. That's so weird.
That's a really great question. I wonder if I would be a Miami party animal if we never met. I have a feeling the answer is no.
It's kind of cool to think about though, because sometimes, I think we get so wrapped up in our own thoughts, and we're always like, you know, this is how I am, this is who I am, and like, is there something wrong with me? And then sometimes we need to remember that like we're all, yes, a little bit of us, but we're also like sprinklings of all these people that have been in our lives too.
Yeah.
And like, you never know who you would be. Like if I didn't meet my friends or Michael, or I don't know who I'd be.
I'd be a scary
I'd be
person.
like the same type of person, but I'd be a different person, I think.
Well, I think what's scary is when people alter their personality based on like either who they're dating or who their current friend group is. Like I feel like maybe not now in life, but back in the like college, high school, it's really easy to like lose
yourself.
Lose your identity because you're just forming to what you think will like get acceptance. And